Hello, it's Graham Bibby here, 19th of April 2020, and I thought we'd do some chart analysis. Very interesting week we just had. So this is the Nasdaq, this is the peak in mid February 2020, and this is the point here where we broke it below stop losses, and my system and myself signaled a move to cash, where this breakdown. And then when you break below what could be regarded as support, it becomes resistance. So the market sold down, ended towards the high of that day, went up towards this resistance level, and then plummeted again. Then we seem to be having some consolidation here. And as I've said before, we had this one climatic sell-off day, then we gapped up the other next day, which was interesting. That high was above that, and it all looked great. We started to rise, and then we pulled back. So now this is the support level because it was resistance here, and then the market's been rising from there. And the very interesting thing is this moving average, which was the big negative, has now turned up, and the Nasdaq is outperforming the S&P, and the Nasdaq is where the growth stocks lie. Now, if you want to make this a bit more interesting, we can go back and see a few more chart lines, and you can see here that's where the stop loss was broken there. We fell through support that should have been here. We fell through support that could have been over here from here. And this is what happens when we get breakouts. This breakout, after this sell-off, so it broke out here, there will be bottom, 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 and then below that was the sell-off. So again out. This time there wasn't much of a pull down, and then the market tried to go up again, pulled back to test that support level, and then we finally broke out here, and then we're off to the races. So the idea is, in these periods, we keep that when the market's gyrating a bit, we keep any losses small, and then when we get a breakout like this, we follow to wherever it's going to go. People say buy and hold. Well, you can look at this chart, and how good would that have been over the last couple of years? Well, let's go back even further, and let's look at a weekly chart. So this is a couple of years, and there's a lot of volatility. Overall, yes, we've ended up. But we can see these sell-offs have happened time and time again. They happened here, they happened here. And interestingly, if you go back to this bottom here, we've sort of fallen here to the longer term trend line. We bounced down below it, which is really negative, and then we've managed to rise above it. This was the 2007 to 2009. That's the bottom I was thinking of, March 2009. Excuse me. When after that you would have been off to the races. And if you want to compare that to Apple, that's what happened to it. This was the basing formation. You see it's all congesting around there. And then basically what happened was 46 world stock markets turned up. We broke above there, and this rose from 100 to 750 in 1, 2, 3 years. This is the opportunity if you invest after a crisis. Now you could ask, what is this drop here? It's not a drop, that's a stock split. When the stock went from nearly 700, and they divided it into basically 7, so you got 7 for 1. We want to go back even further. This is the 2000 crash. So recently, to here, in 2018 correction, we'd gone back to 2000 level. So when the people say, oh, stocks are really high, blah, 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 we're only this bit up from where we were in 2000. And that is probably about 20% up from there. We've had all this volatility in the meantime. Right now, if we zoom in here, let's zoom right in. So, like the other markets, there was this topping out, stop loss was broken here, then we fell all the way down to here, climatic sell-off up, slightly above that, it went lower than you would have expected. This now is the bottom. This is the longer term bottom now, here. You wouldn't want it to break below that. And then we could put this in as well. This is, you would not expect it to below that because this bottom's higher than that bottom, this top's higher than that top, and then we've broken above. If we test back, we should test back to that moving average, which is now turned up, and we should be off to the long-term races. So Apple is looking really, really good. Nasdaq's looking good. This is the emerging markets 3 times leverage fund. We want to zoom in here. So, you know, we really need it to move up above here, but there's a lot of upside potential here, a lot of upside potential. If we go down a bit further, I want to show you, I don't want to show you that, I want to show you, this is indices, so it's not in there, but semiconductors, let's say. Semiconductors in this nice, beautiful trend now, beautiful trend. Only that moving average is a bit spoiling it, but this was 320 or 128. So you could easily see 100 to 200% upside from here, especially if we break above that moving average, which I do believe we will. Now let's just see what else I've got in my little shopping bag here. That looks interesting. Here we go. What do I want to show you? Okay, Marriott's been hammered because it's hotels, but I would say this was the climatic bottom here. That looks like a start of a new uptrend. We're in this kind of flag pendant at the moment. So from there to there, we're kind of still in there. But that bottom's higher than that bottom's higher than that bottom. So I still think that looks very, very interesting. And Boeing, oh wow, we had a nice nice play here, that rise. That bottom's higher than that bottom, this bottom's higher than that bottom. It looks like we've broken out of that. And if it can gain momentum to the upside, it's 154 at the moment. There's 100% upside potential still there. Now I just want to finally just tell you another area that's really been beaten up, or 2 areas that have been beaten up, because I do monitor virtually everything. I won't say everything because you can't monitor everything, but let's have a look here. What am I looking for? I'm looking for, well, let's just put it on. I can't find it. BRZU. There you go. There's Brazil. It's not really progressed anywhere yet. It's 172, the Brazilian ETF. It was up a smidge on Friday, but it used to be 40. So on a risk reward basis, that's not a bad play to have. And then over here, gold's been rising, but things like the junior miners that were 100 is $6.30. So again, on a risk reward ratio, it's worth playing in that. I do like things like Tesla. I told you that before. It broke out of this at 500. It's 753 now. You people that are not listening to me, that is a 50% rise in just a couple of weeks. It's on its way back to 1,000. Its moving average is turned up. It's looking all hunky-dory, looking very, very good. This is PayPal, online payment system, broken out. Stop loss position here, looking very good. Square, yep, it's up, pull back, up, pull back. That's a stop loss there. Ended on the high on Friday, and it's above the moving average. Looks like it's going a lot higher. So it's the Bibster here saying, you know, everything's rosy in the garden at the moment. If you're not in the service, you should get in it. You manage your own money. You open your account with your own broker. You just tell me what you want to do, whether you want me to mentor you and advise you on stocks, ETFs, or for those who want more risk, CFDs. And then every day we send you buy signals for stocks, buy signals for ETFs, buy signals for CFDs, whichever one you're in. Whatever we send a buy signal on, we monitor every day. And then if a stop loss is broken, then we tell you to get out. So here we go. Here's a quick one. And I was the chairman of a technical analyst society in Hong Kong, and they gave me an honorary long-term membership. So that was the longer-term support level there. And then if I just flip over here, draw trend lines, and I go jiggy over here. So that resistance there came with support here. It was marginally below there, but now we're above it. So that should be the stop loss position. So if we fall below there, you'd get a sell signal. But my thought process right now is that is on his way up here. So Graham Bibby saying, read my book. talk to me. I'm here to help you because I want everyone to be able to do wealth creation. Bye bye for now.